I'm Muskan Kandilwal and you are watching Indian Masterminds. In this candid chat, IRS Officer Ananth Rupanagudi takes us inside the world of Indian Railways. From the upcoming slipper Vande Bharat trains to how train coaches are designed and updated, he shares insights on what's changing and what still needs work. We also talk about the role of public-private partnership, the meaning behind coach colors, and how Indian Railways is balancing modernization with affordability. This video is a must-watch for anyone curious about the future of rail travel in India. Thank you so much, sir, for joining Indian Masterminds once again.
Yeah, great to be back again, Muskan, and nice to have this session again. I think the last time which we had, it was a bit of a monologue and it stretched beyond, the time which probably wasn't very convenient for people to watch. But nevertheless, I think it's nice to be back for a second session. And I think it'll be a little shorter and maybe I hope to engage in a more of a dialogue than, being in a monologue.
In our last video, we had a discussion कि railways India के लिए कितना बड़ा lifeline है. Generally लोग
सही
बहुत
में
बहुत बड़े नंबर में इंडियन रेलवे से ट्रैवल करते हैं, बट स्टिल इंडियन रेलवेज कहीं ना कहीं लॉस में है. तो ऐसा क्यों है? लास्ट वीडियो में हमने बहुत डिटेल वे में इस पे डिस्कशन नहीं कर पाया था, सो आई वांट कि जहां हमने खत्म किया था वहीं से स्टार्ट करें.
Right. So, as I told you in the last video itself, there is no concept of profit and loss in government services. So, as I told you that we have a concept of an operating ratio, and I think I have explained it in the last video as well. But yes, as you said, there is a significant, we have a long way to go. As I told you the last time as well, we have a long way to go because there is a lot of improvement which is needed in railway services as well as our projects, the way we execute our projects, the quality of work, and then, the quality of services. I think we talked quite a bit about that. We talked a little bit about that, but I think, there is quite a bit of improvement. As they say, my popular thing, what I say is that the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement.
Right.
So we can never have a perfect kind of a service. There are quite a few issues, and I think we can see them in the media as well as in the social media about various issues which railways face, and especially like, for example, I think your question targeted about the projects as well. Why do projects take a lot of time? And then there's a lot of criticism about the way the projects are also executed. Right. So, number one is that, what we have is, I've already expressed my personal opinion on this. Our contract regulations, which are there, are not the best. Let me admit that, in the sense that it's a little more one-sided in favor of railways. So you need a more level-headed and a more balanced kind of a contract system where the responsibilities of the railways and the contractor, whoever is there, are divided equally and are clearly mentioned. So, but what happens in our general conditions of contract is that it is more in the favor of railways. It is as if, the contractor only has to do the work and railways has very little responsibility with regard to its part. So what happens? You don't get the best agencies because the best contractors who are there would like, a more even-handed kind of a contract where there is a balance between the responsibilities to be shared between both the railways and the agency. But here it's like the executive engineer is the supreme head, and the railways doesn't have much of responsibility. So we don't get the best people to bid for the tenders. Number two, then, we also, let me be very frank, we also don't treat our contractors properly. We can't view the contractors as outsiders. I mean, they're a part of the system. They are your partners in the progress of the thing. I mean, even in the outside world, contractors are viewed somebody who is, who's out to make money, who will, grease the palms of the officials. And, that kind of a image has been built up about the contractors. And even in the railways, we need to shed this so-called, the baggage which we attach to the word contractor. And we need to treat him or the agency as a more of a part of the progress,
Yeah.
as a partner, as a stakeholder. So the thing is that, we don't, people of many, I've seen many officers, they don't respond to their correspondence. Suppose they face any difficulty in the execution of the work, they will write to the officers, they don't respond properly. And, ultimately when the work reaches a point where he cannot move any further, then he goes into arbitration. And it is found that many of the cases we lose. Railways loses many of the arbitration cases because they have not documented properly, they don't respond properly to the contractors' requests and all those things. So we need to improve our contract management. We need to also work upon our contract regulations to make them more friendly towards the agencies, who want to come and bid for the contracts. And then what happens is, and another thing is that, a lot of people blame this L1 method of tendering, है ना, जो आप lowest को देते हैं, so that's why they are not able to perform. I say no, actually L1 is the norm everywhere. It's an international kind of established practice because you have to get the best value for the price and you have to give the bid to the lowest bidder, right? But the problem here is that if you're quoting L1, you are quoting L1 for what? What kind of specifications? So your design of specifications has to be of a higher level, where you ask for a higher level of execution, higher level of quality in the execution of the work, higher level of workmanship. But if your specifications itself is of a lower level, then obviously you're going to get quality which is not up to the mark. So that's the kind of thing which we need to do. L1 is the most effective way, but you have to design your specifications in such a way that you can get the best value and the best quality out of the this thing. And you have to follow it up with very good supervision. So supervision has to be good. You have to monitor and the execution of the contract has to be further improved. And, the enforcement of the contract conditions also needs to improve. Actually, from what I heard, in the media as well, I keep reading about it. The ease of business ranking, which is there, in which India ranks at a particular stage. I think it's in the 30s right now. So the ease of business ranking में हम लोग कहाँ पिछड़ रहे हैं? Where are we lagging behind? We are lagging behind in one of the things which is enforcement of contracts.
Okay.
So enforcement of contracts needs to improve, and the kind of thing which we need to the contract design itself needs to improve. Of course, we are doing a lot of work. We are doing a lot of work in the sense that all major projects now are being executed through what is called the EPC route.
Yeah.
That's engineering, procurement, and construction thing. Yeah. So this is the EPC route which is there, which is based on the conditions of contract which is based on what is called the FIDIC method of contracting. FIDIC is a French abbreviation for the kind of contract conditions which should be there, in which both the executing agency as well as the executor have shared responsibilities and which are very clearly defined, and that will help in the better execution of the contract. And all those projects which are being executed for the government by very good agencies like L&T and Gammon India, or one of these very Shapurji, Palonji, the ones which are the well-established construction firms which are there, they are all, whatever contracts they're executing for the government, they are in this EPC mode.
Okay.
So, but EPC mode is now implemented for high level contract, high value contracts. So now, if we implement or if we bring, we make a distinction between these high value contracts and the lower value contracts. I think the distinction is put at, I think, 10 crore or I'm not too clear about it. But the thing is that all contracts above 100 crores, for example, have to go in the EPC mode. So all the values below 100 crores, they are executed through the GCC, General Conditions of Contract, which we have in railways, which I told you that there are a lot of shortcomings in the General Conditions of Contract, which we need to further improve. Now, if we improve the contract regulations, then the quality of work and all will also improve.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing which we, which we need to work at, and then thereafter improve the kind of thing which we, kind of works which we execute.
तो सर ये तो जैसे आपने टेंडर और एजेंसीज के बारे में कि क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट हो सकती है, बाकी और रेलवे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में कैसे, वी नो कि बहुत मेजर डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं रेलवेज में, बट क्या अभी भी स्कोप है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रेलवे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के इम्प्रूवमेंट में?
Sure. There is tremendous scope in a sense, but what happens is that, as I told you, that the projects are like, for example, as I told you, if you have to make a third line, then there is this land acquisition issues which are there. And then they get into the legal issues, and then and also the state governments. We are when we become entirely dependent on the cooperation from the state governments, departments, land revenue departments, in which state government has to sort of talk to the landowners. They have to offer them the required compensation, and that kind of a thing. So the land acquisition process, we don't have a very good, as I told you, very good land acquisition law. And that's why the land acquisition itself takes about, 2 to 3 years at times. And if that is the amount, the time taken for land acquisition, then when will you complete the project? And that's why we run into the time and cost overruns. And then the project which was budgeted at maybe 500 crores, it goes into 600, 700 crores sometimes. So we need to work at multiple levels. We need to have a good land acquisition law. We need to streamline our processes in terms of execution. So we need to work on multiple fronts to ensure that the infrastructure which you're talking about in terms of additional lines and better signaling systems and all that will come about only when we improve these processes which I'm talking about.
Right. So I just saw Vande Bharat train पीछे आपके.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I saw it.
It's a small model. Yes.
It's a model. तो बात करते हैं वंदे भारत ट्रेन के ऊपर. We have been hearing about the upcoming slipper version, जो वंदे भारत की पिक्चर्स भी रिलीज हुई है. तो if you could please share the latest update of this project, और when can we expect कि उसका roll out होगा और कहाँ से start होगा?
Very, very soon, in the sense that we are hoping that by the end of this month, the first sleeper version will be ready, and maybe by, who knows, by August 15th we may get the rollout. And once this rake comes out, then the subsequent rakes will come, one at the rate of one every month.
Okay.
So they were waiting for the approval of this first, everything. I mean, there are small issues with the documentation and all that which I hear is left. And once that is rolled out, then we get one every month. So we have about nine to be rolled out. So 9 months में 9 आ जाएंगे आपके. We will get 9 these things. And there are about 120 plus 80, another 200 in the pipeline. which is being manufactured. About 120 will come from Latur and another 80 from another contract which is being awarded to Titagarh wagons. I mean, these are all in public domain. So another 200 things will come, but that will take time. That will come out only in 2027 and after that.
Okay.
So 27 के बाद ही आएंगे, but ये वाले जो हैं during this financial year probably we'll get no, I think one every month means another 9 months you will get the 9 rakes which will go, and कहाँ से कहाँ चलेंगे is not up to us. That is to be decided by Railway Board. So Railway Board in its wisdom, there are a lot of factors. Maybe, I mean, that, the Bihar elections are around the corner.
Yeah.
So definitely, maybe one train will go towards that region. So that's the kind of a thing. So there are a lot of factors which determine how the routes will be determined for these new trains. Vande Bharat sleepers, the production will be ramped up.
Okay.
And that is going to be the way forward. Because that is the way which, that's the train of the future for us. And any improvements which will be made further will be made on the sleeper version which we have developed. So we can look forward to a more modern, method of transportation for our passengers. But yes, it will take a little time. They have to be a little patient. 2027 is not very far. So 27, 28, I think we'll see all these trains rolling out.
ओके, तो वंदे भारत ट्रेन में आपका बहुत बड़ा की रोल रहा है, तो आई वुड लाइक टू नो, मे बी मेरे ऑडियंस को भी जानने में इंटरेस्ट होगा कि व्हाट गोज इनटू मेकिंग और अपडेटिंग ऑफ एन इंडियन रेलवेज ट्रेन कोच. क्या फैक्टर्स को कंसिडर किया जाता है, किस तरीके की R&D होती है, और कैसे आप लोगों से फीडबैक लेते हैं, इफ देयर इज समथिंग कि लोगों से फीडबैक लिया जाता होगा.
Let me deal with it. For example, now in the manufacturing of a coach. Now let us first talk about the basic LHB coach which we are manufacturing. So now the LHB coach which is which we manufacture at ICF. What happens is, first there are 2 divisions of ICF where the coaches get manufactured. One is the shell division, another one is the furnishing division. Now the shell division is the one which makes the body.
Okay.
Which makes the body of the coach, the bare metal structure. Okay. So which means you have the side walls, you have the end walls, you have the roof, and then you have the underframe. Okay. So now, then after the underframe, they're all welded together in a particular thing. Then they're, the windows are cut out.
Yeah.
Then the space of vestibule is cut out. Wherever they need to do that, everything is done according to the design which has been. There's a well-established design for LHB coach. Okay. So according to the design, everything is, formatted. And then after that, it goes to the bogie shop, where the bogie with the suspension and with the wheels and the springs and all that, they are fitted to the underframe.
Okay.
So once that is fitted to the underframe, the braking system is then attached to the thing. Because brakes are all attached to the bogies.
Bogies, yes.
Where to the wheels, they will be fitted to the wheels. They're part of the bogie. So then once that is done, then it goes to the furnishing shops. Now furnishing is where 2/3 of the work is done. जिसमें आपका पूरा कोच बनता है, सिर्फ shell portion is only 1/3. 2/3 of the work is done in the furnishing section, whereby first the painting is done. So paint se shuru hoke, it starts from paint shop and then it goes to the various shops in which the partitions are fixed, the additional metal cover is given, and then the plywood attached hota hai. Jahan plywood nahi hai, to wo fiber reinforced polymer, that is given, and then all the wiring is done, the air conditioning is done, the seats and berths are attached. So all these things there is a definite order in which all these jobs are executed. So seats and berths attached honge, toilets, then bio toilet is attached, then the tanks are fit, on the water tanks are fit. So all this work, which goes into the train, ultimate coming out of the train, the finishing,
Yeah.
all that is done in furnishing.
Okay.
So once you're done to the furnishing, then you come to the commissioning shed. So commissioning shed में जो the ultimate finishing which is done, the testing which has to be done, that is done there. As I told you that furnishing के बाद commissioning shed पे the finishing is done, and then all these details of the coaches which have been manufactured, they are numbered according in particular order, and that details are communicated to railway board, and railway board allots these coaches to different railways.
Okay.
So, so then these coaches are then dispatched to the different railways, and then they will, attach it as a particular rake, and then they will run the trains according to the schedules which are there. So that is how it is done. So, but for Vande Bharat, the entire work of manufacturing, the entire manufacturing of Vande Bharat is done in the furnishing section only. So there are specific shops which are given for Vande Bharat. So the same process which is there, it takes place within the furnishing shops, and we follow the same thing. And the spare parts which are required are obviously different. The propulsion system is different. The kind of air conditioning which we require is specifically designed for it, and seats and berths which come are different again. So they're all procured from various vendors, and then they are all fitted in these shops, and then they are turned out. They are turned out in a format. For example, the LHB coaches are all coaches. They don't have locomotives attached. But here it's a train set in which the locomotion is inbuilt. It is like जो आपने local trains जैसा है, advanced version of local trains.
Okay.
So it is self-propelled. They are all self-propelled. So the driver's cab is a part of the train set. So then these are all turned out, and then again the same process. Then the railway board allots these train sets to various zones, and then as per the program which is given, they are all sent to the required zonal railways, and then the routes are worked out, and then they ply according to the routes which have been approved by railway board. So that is how it goes on. And we are going to produce about 97 Vande Bharat coaches. Now I think 87 are online. Two are one is finished, and one is waiting for allotment, I think. So about totally, I think 90 have been manufactured now. So abhi aur in this year, 7 more are going to be manufactured. And then we will wait for further orders, whether whether there is any more planning with regards to the further production of Vande Bharat chair cars. I'm talking about the chair cars.
Yeah.
Then of course the sleeper versions are all being manufactured. That of course is not taking place within ICF. The 9 rakes which are supposed to come will come from BEML.
Okay.
So that is how it is now. So I have given you as a layman. For example, if you ask a production engineer, he will tell you in a more
detailed manner,
and a more technical. But as a financial advisor, what I could understand from my visit to the factory shop, and trying to understand the basic stages of production. As a layman, I can just tell you this much regarding the production processes. But I can tell you about the improvements which we are making. For example, now I have to tell you about this Amrit Bharat coaches which are going to come up. These are those coaches, non-air conditioned coaches. So there will be, I think, about 11 general class coaches and about 9 second class sleeper coaches.
Okay.
So these are all so this is basically to connect the main migration routes which are there. So most of the migrants are coming towards Delhi, Bombay, and South India from the eastern sector. a lot of people, in fact, a lot of people are coming from the Northeast.
Yeah.
They're coming from East Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar,
UP.
and Odisha, and a few of them from UP as well. So for them, this Amrit Bharat trains are being worked out, whereby, it's almost like you can say on the same Vande Bharat standards. hmm, We're giving very good amenities within the train
Mm.
with very good fittings. And the toilets which are going to come up are much better than what is normally provided in other trains.
Okay.
In fact, I have been a member of the committee which procured these toilets for Amrit Bharat trains, and they're of very high standard. Basically, the difference, it is actually 2.5 times more costlier than the earlier toilets because of the higher specifications.
Hmm.
The higher specifications have gone into because basically the emphasis has been to make use fire retardant materials. Particular kind of resin which they use.
Okay.
It's a polymer which they use probably, which has a higher level of fire retardants.
Hmm.
It's a fire retardant material. So, which means that, most of the fires which we have seen, which have tragically taken place on trains, have either taken place either in the pantry car or in the toilets.
Okay.
So the toilets are all a little more, fire prone areas. So there is a need for this fire retardant material to be put in the washrooms.
Hmm.
So the toilets which have been taken, and I'm sure they're going to be very good. I mean, they're very good, especially for the kind of toilets which we see in the sleeper class,
Mm-hmm.
which we don't have a very good opinion of. These are going to be a real breath of fresh air in terms of the kind of toilets which will, and ultimately, of course, yes, then we expect the passengers to use them well and to observe the basic rules of hygiene so that they can be maintained better and they will remain far more cleaner than the ones which we see in the normal trains.
Right. Right.
So there's a lot of emphasis on this Amrit Bharat version, besides the
Mm-hmm.
Vande Bharat, of course. The Amrit Bharat trains that also are going to be turned out in good number. I think we had six scheduled. I think they are going to be increase the number of trains which are going to be rolled out from ICF.
Okay.
So these are the things which are going on now.
So I would like to know, is there any specific reason for the colors of the coaches? जैसे राजधानी का red color है, some trains have blue color, किसी का कुछ और होता है, तो any specific reason?
I am not too familiar with it, but I can tell you that it's a product differentiation. जैसे if a company manufactures different kind of products of different quality
Mm-hmm.
or different specifications, they're obviously going to have something which will differentiate one from the other, right? Like for example, Tata टी में ही आपके दो तीन ब्रांड्स हैं. तो
Yeah.
आपके जो ब्रांड डिजाइन है, द ब्रांड color of the packaging and all will be different.
Yeah.
So it's a way of identifying the different kind of liveries. They call it liveries.
Okay.
So the outer color जो है उसको livery बोलते हैं. So of course the liveries have all have undergone a lot of changes. For example, पहले जो ICF कोचेस होते थे वो ब्लू कलर के आते थे.
Mm-hmm.
अब LHB के जो हैं वो रेड कलर के आते हैं.
Mm.
So these are all decisions which are taken at a particular level.
Okay.
And each train needs to reflect a certain kind of brand which it is associated with. And so that is how the colors are determined. The combination is also worked out. Then the color design is also approved at a reasonably higher level. For example, I can tell you that the Vande Bharat design, which is there, the color which you see, the
Yes.
orange Vande Bharat, is approved at the highest level.
Okay.
Even sent to the PMO. That is a level of approval which is given to the color design and the external look of the premium brands which are which we are manufacturing. So even for the other coaches which are there, not just Vande Bharat, but the other coaches which are there is a particular level in which these color schemes are approved, and then they are done accordingly.
Okay. Let's talk something about bureaucracy. Bureaucrats से तो
Yeah.
जैसा सोशल मीडिया पे बातचीत होती है जनरली